RMJ Movie Reviews back again with an on-the-fly movie review of the reboot Ghostbusters, starring Melissa McCarthy and a bunch of other comedians. What did I think of the Ghostbusters reboot? Well, I finally decided I'm gonna take this thing on its own merit. Okay. Having just freshly watched the original the other night and then watched it again yesterday, because actually when I was at work yesterday it was on AMC. We got cable at my job, so I watched it on my lunch again. This is Ghostbusters in name only. This is not Ghostbusters, this film, 2016. It's Ghostbusters in name only. Basically, what this is here is this is part of the product line that Bill Murray was talking about why he didn't want to make another Ghostbusters film. So, this is what we got. You know, regardless, we were going to get something like this anyway. So, bottom line is, this ain't Ghostbusters. So, anybody out there who might be upset about the film and all this stuff, and you know, this isn't Ghostbusters. This isn't. This is a Paul Feig film and melded into a pre-existing franchise title. That's what this is. All that being said, how was the film strictly as its own merit? It was okay. It was okay. Was it a train wreck? No. Was it horrible? No. It was actually funny. Now, was it gutbuster funny? No. But it was dumb, brainless summer fun. Is this memorable? No. Is this gonna be held in regard 30 years later like the original film? No, absolutely not. But is it a good time waster and dumb fun and some good chuckles and some good special effects? Yeah, absolutely. The performances are energetic. Liam Hemsworth, or which one is it? Is it Chris Hemsworth? Yeah, Chris Hemsworth in this is he's very good in the movie. He's really funny, man. He's like I heard this on another YouTube channel, but he's a dumb blonde. He's like a really good looking cat, but he's just dumb. There's one scene in here that had me die. It was funny as hell when they first introduced him. This crazy fool has got bifocals with no lenses, and it's the way they introduce it too. He scratches his eye, and they're like, "How come you have no lenses in your glasses?" He's like, "Well, I just thought it was easier to just kind of have it like that. I don't need them in my eye." Just, oh my god, that scene was funny, and there are some funny scenes in the film. You know, really, my issue with it is that it's Ghostbusters. That they call it Ghostbusters, and they do, and I'm pretty sure it was probably the studio that told Paul Feig when he wrote this to kind of, the story actually has the exact same beats as the first film. There's actually even shots that mimic the original. You know what I mean? Like in the original, the big line comes out. Dun, dun, dun. There's something similar to that. Matter of fact, there's a couple shots in the movie that actually past the building, the library that they ran out of in the original movie, and I think the scene where the National Guard save the day, where the big line of people, I think they passed that location too, and maybe like two other ones in the movie too. There's actually even a shot of the Ecto One in this film that emulates the Ecto One shot from the first film with Winston and Ray. Let's listen to some music. Doom, 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 and the car's going on. They got a shot that mimics that. And also, too, the reason this isn't Ghostbusters is this is a different kind of comedy. You know what I mean? This is kind of more slapsticky, plant gum on your forehead, fart kind of stuff. And just kind of, punchline kind of comedy. You know what I mean? Where it's just like bam, punchline, 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 which is good. I think it's very well done in this film, but that's not what the first Ghostbusters was. You know, they had punch lines, but it wasn't punchliney. You know what I'm saying? The comedy wasn't punchliney, where it was just punchline, tight shot, edit shot. It was, the first Ghostbusters was just clever, adult-oriented humor that just kind of flowed. Now, it only got slapsticky. Rick Moranis was the slapsticky character. Him locking himself out of his apartment. Him, you will perish in flames, and tripping over furniture and stuff. That was the slapsticky kind of stuff. The complete comedy of this reboot is done like Rick Moranis' kind of slapstick comedy. Goodness, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Of the first film, you know, that's the way the comedy is layered in this film. It does have a little bit of adult kind of innuendos, but they're very subtle. They're not as strong, obviously, as the original film, and they never will be, unless they go for like an R rating or something. So it's a different style comedy, and this really doesn't exist in the real world like the first film. The first film was very grounded in real world. It was, you know, very New York. It was just, and then you blended in this supernatural element. But the film was real. The humor was adult oriented, and it was real humor. These people aren't by any stretch of the imagination. None of them feel like real characters at all. So this is kind of like that movie world, everything feels fake kind of thing. You know what I mean? So that being said, you know, that's what the first Ghostbusters was to me. It was real world, kind of improv-y, naturalistic, kind of adult-oriented comedy, you know, mixed in with this supernatural situation. And this film is not that. This is a slapsticky, punchliney, quippy, kid-friendly, goofy movie with Ghostbusters thrown on the title. That's exactly what it is. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. My only problem is that they call it Ghostbusters. And I really think with the creative talent, and all the girls are good. I think they have a good chemistry together. I just think with the talent, they could have just came up with something else. It shouldn't have just even been Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters should just be what it is, a product of the 80s. And you know, the whole I Ain't Afraid, the whole thing of Ghostbusters, it's just so 80s. It's the over-the-top theme song, all of that. That is stuff that you did in the 80s, where you had your theme song and your this and that. That's 80s stuff. I just don't think that applies now in 2016. So I really just think they should have took their energy to make it something else. It could have been cool. It could have been supernatural. It should have been something new for 2016. But the movie, it was okay. I would say it was good. It was good. The issue is that they call it Ghostbusters and that they're trying to sell it as a reboot, new version of Ghostbusters, when it should have been original and been its own thing. Because the talent that you have on screen is too much for them to be putting in to somebody else's idea from 30 years ago. But it's not a bad movie. It's not. I was entertained by it, and I thought it was funny. But it's not Ghostbusters. That's my big issue. Now, they don't even compare. They're not even. That's why, even if they would have called it Ghostbusters, I wish they could have called it like something else to emphasize that this is not the Ghostbusters you know from 30 years ago. Just anything, you know. Ghostbusters, a new dimension, or Ghostbusters, the new 2016, or anything that could be. But, you know, I understand Columbia just wanted to sell that title so they could sell tickets and stuff. And it's kind of weird because it's not even going to mean anything to kids who are seeing it now. So, I don't know. It's just stupid. But, now, here's another thing. Is it better than Ghostbusters 2? I would say it's better than Ghostbusters 2. In the fact that Ghostbusters 2 has such... Now, on the special effects scenes in Ghostbusters 2, Oh, all the special effects, the slime, the Statue of Liberty, of course, the montages. I ain't afraid of no ghost. I ain't afraid of no ghost. And Ecto 1 looks cool and all that. All that stuff is cool. But it's just the comedy of Ghostbusters 2, the human aspect, is just, there's no energy in I don't feel the energy in Ghostbusters 2. I just think the comedy is so weak in that film. I think there's no energy. Bill Murray looks bored in that movie, to me, when I watch it. And it's watered down. So I will say I had more fun with this film than I did with Ghostbusters 2. I haven't rewatched Ghostbusters 2 again yet. I'm going to put up that review tonight. But I definitely had more fun with this film because the last time I watched Ghostbusters 2 was last year. It was on like AMC, which they always aired on AMC. But I had more fun with this movie because the performances had energy. The action sequences were a little bit funner. And I just really thought the comedy was funny in this reboot. There was no energy from the cast in Ghostbusters 2. I felt they all looked tired. And the comedy in Ghostbusters 2 was not funny. And on top of that, the villain was just so lame in Ghostbusters 2. I mean, Vigo, and he's in a painting. It's just like, I just couldn't believe that was the best they could have come up with. Now, that could be said about this film, but the difference is that you got more energy. You just got more energy. I mean, if you watch Ghostbusters 2, Bill Murray even looks bored in the finale. Like when the slime is surrounding the building and he gets out the car and he goes, "Oh, there's always room for Jello." I mean, even the way Bill delivers it, he delivers it with such just unenthusiastic, like he doesn't even want to say it. Now, on to the cameos. Annie Potts shows up, Ernie Hudson, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray shows up. Matter of fact, Bill Murray showed a lot more energy in his cameo than he did in the entire movie of Ghostbusters 2. It's cool to have the cameos. I dozed off like once or twice, so I don't know if Sigourney Weaver showed up too. She might have. I might have missed her. But, it's just, I don't know. I mean, some people call it fan service, but this isn't Ghostbusters. They're trying to make this a new Ghostbusters or whatever, but, just seeing them for people my age who are mid-30s or 40s just doesn't do anything but piss us off. And then the kids who are in the audience don't even know who the hell they are. So it's just, I don't know, it's stupid. But look, regardless, the movie's not a train wreck. It's not horrible. It is funny. The leads have chemistry. It hits similar story beats from the first one. It ain't Ghostbusters, and I think it was a waste of talent to put it into this old title when it should have been something else. So that's my issue with it, and that's my review of the Ghostbusters reboot. Thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and leave comments down below about how you feel about Ghostbusters 2016. RMJ Movie Reviews. I will be back to see you guys again.